Well, I don't know if you can ever duplicate Berkshire Hathaway, because to do that you have to duplicate Charlie and Warren, which means you have to go back and create someone back in the 1930s or 1940s and wire them the same way those guys were wired back then, because all their ability to find excess value in the market comes from the way they were wired 40 and 50 years ago. So you just can't create a new Warren Buffett today. A lot of people think they can, but what I like about folks like Markel is they do it on their own terms, as everyone does. And even you think about comedians. No two comedians are alike. They may study, the previous generation of comedians, but they know in order to be successful, they have to get and fit within their own skin and do what comes natural to them, and they evolve, and they have their own characteristics that makes them different from any other comedian, and that's why they're all unique and different, but they can all be successful. And I think when you're trying to duplicate a Berkshire model, if you apply it strictly, it's going to be very difficult to duplicate, because you're trying to replicate what Warren and Charlie have wired inside their skin. But what a company like Markel can do is, first, they're niche insurance businesses, types of businesses that a lot of insurance companies don't even want to get into. So there is a little bit of pricing power from time to time. Not only that, they have just a strong underwriting discipline of not losing money. And I can tell that when you look at their reports, if we get into a soft market where prices are coming down from insurance, they don't ramp up the premiums, the volume, just to improve revenues that way. If anything, they draw back. And that's what I like to see with an insurance company. And Berkshire Hathaway has shown the same tendencies with the G chain, that when markets get soft and prices aren't correct, you just don't write the business, and you let it drift away, and you let your premiums suffer, and you let your operating profits suffer for a while, which means your combined ratios go up, but that's showing discipline. And when the markets get hard and you got a lot of excess capital, you go in there and you ramp up your premium volumes, you raise them 20-30%, and it really helps your bottom line for a couple of years. But you have to show that underwriting discipline first and foremost, because in the insurance business, if you don't have underwriting profits every year, you've got no float to invest. Then you're more susceptible to market fluctuations. You don't get that free 2% yield that you want on that portfolio. So Markel's got that secret sauce baked into them. A lot of it's cultural. A lot of it's the fact that I think personally that they're not a New York-based company. They're not from Miami. They're not from San Francisco. They're not from the big centers. They're Virginia-based folks. They have a very good discipline. They just have a very good way of looking at things, and it's divorced from the business cultures of the major East Coast cities. They're based out of suburban Richmond, Virginia, and they bring with them just a way of looking at things that is more conducive to discipline and value orientation than you're going to find in a lot of insurance companies. So you combine their culture and their steeped history, and the fact that you still have family members running the company who are major shareholders of it, and then you have the operating discipline within the insurance company, and then you add on top of that, with all these factors going for them already, you add on top of that the fact that their portfolio selections have been exemplary. I mean, Tom Gaynor, as the CIO of Markel, has been beating the S&P 500 quite handily now for almost 2 decades, and that has allowed the compounding of the book value. So they've got a lot of interesting characteristics. They're doing it their own way in niche insurance companies. They are following the discipline of building a business model like Berkshire Hathaway, but they're not trying to duplicate Charlie and Warren personality-wise.